Hi everybody, I am here today with Rick and Sean from EAA. I would like to welcome you guys to AMA Expo and have you tell us a little bit about what EAA is and what you're hoping to accomplish at the Expo this year.
Sure. I'm Rick Larsen, EA's Vice President of Community and Member Programs, and we've had a long-standing relationship with AMA, and we believe that certainly being at AMA Expo is great for us to, number one, show support to AMA in terms of our commitment to that relationship. But also, I think as we both see it, there's a tremendous amount of crossover between modeling and full-scale aviation. So a lot of the folks that are walking the hall here are both EAA and AMA members, and we also have an opportunity to provide visibility for EAA to this community as well.
Absolutely.
And I'm Sean Elliott. I'm Vice President of Advocacy and Safety, and I also have Flight Ops at EAA. To mirror what Rick just described, they're parallel universes, and you see both within the AMA community and EAA community so much likenesses in culture and community. We integrated model aviation into AirVenture in the biggest way ever this last year with an awesome routine with Frank Knoll and Matt Chapman doing a side-by-side IMAC aerobatic airplane and Matt's full-size airplane.
I heard about that.
And it was a huge hit.
Fantastic.
And we're going to be doing more of that. So the two worlds very much are aligned, and we're just excited to be here and be part of this.
That is awesome. Well, we are really, really excited to have you guys here with us this year as well. I understand that you both have a background in modeling, is that right?
A long background, I think, for both of us. I have been involved in modeling my entire life, and Sean is essentially, I think, the same. And we continue to do both, both full scale and modeling. And it's been a big part of our lives.
Yeah, I have a 5-digit AMA number, and very proud of that.
Awesome.
One junior stunt in 1982, and at the Nats, and very much have been immersed in it. Now my son is deeply immersed in it at age 12, flying Tiger 60s, and just really, really into the whole hobby.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this question. As a person that's not in a stage in my life to go into full-scale aviation, looking at someone who does have that opportunity on a daily basis, what brings you back to modeling when you have the opportunity to hop into the real thing and fulfill a dream that way?
Well, Sean and I talk about it a lot. When it's a really nice day, I think you struggle between, do I go down to the airport and fly the Cub, or do I go out to the RC field and go flying? And it all boils down to the same thing, and that is the joy of flight and the magic of flight. And whether you're doing that through RC or control line, or you're doing it, sitting in a 39 Cub, there's that same love and joy of aviation that comes through both sides of it. And I know for me, it's always a tough call in the morning when I know it's going to be a nice day, and there's days where when you can do both of them, it's a pretty good day.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Absolutely.
I was just telling Mark Ratcliffe, one of our regional VPs at AMA, just yesterday, that there's so much similarities in the level of reward and good overall feelings flying both models in full size. I'm an examiner in our B-17, and whether I'm out giving a check ride in a full-scale, real-to-deal B-17G model, or out doing a maiden on a classic pattern airplane, when I'm done flying, and the overall sense of accomplishment is the same. You feel really special, like I did something really great today.
That's perfect. I think that's kind of the feeling that we're all after.
Absolutely.
When I think about younger people that are fascinated with aviation, when they go outside and they look up in the sky and they see aircraft going by, and they can point up and say, hey, that's this and that's that, and I want to be able to do that. As it stands right now, there's kind of a gap in what's accessible to young people when it comes to full-scale aviation. How do you feel that models can help kind of bridge that gap?
You want to take that?
Sure. Model aviation is a great way to connect the dots. As Rick and I both described, it firmly cements you with the absolute lifelong passion and commitment to being involved with aviation. For many of us, it was the beginning of our careers. For others, it's a great stopgap for when you reach periods of time in your life that you have to move away from full-size aviation or come back. It's the crossover is the key that you see throughout life. Whether it's models or full-size, you're immersed in aviation. And that's really it. It's the most passionate community, whether it's modeling or the EAA community. It's about building, it's about innovation, it's about living the dream, and it doesn't matter what scale it is.
Well, and I think, we had talked about it earlier, the skills that you acquire in modeling are absolutely transferable skills, whether you're talking about skills associated with building and what it takes to do that right, or the skills that are acquired in flying, extremely transferable. And so, you're talking about youth, the things that a child can learn, coming out of a Young Eagles program or a Young Eagles flight as an 8-year-old and getting involved in modeling, those skills, again, whether it's building, flying, attention to detail, commitment, those are all things that you need when you go into full-scale aviation, and incredibly transferable.
To any other aspect of life, anything
well,
you want
it
to
absolutely
pursue,
is.
you
Absolutely.
need these life skills.
Yeah, I think we talk about that, in general at EAA when you think about flying and what it takes. Those are all great. The skills are life skills, and whether you're acquiring it through model aviation or you're doing it full scale or you're doing it with both,
Sure.
It works.
So here's a real world example. As I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, my son, he's 12. He's deeply immersed in RC right now. And we're also starting to dabble in control line too. I want him to, and free flight he's flown. So I'm trying to get him the whole modeling experience.
Sure.
Next year, we're going to start working really hard to prepare him to solo in a glider on his 14th birthday. A full-size glider.
Yeah.
He's already flown RC gliders. And by age 16, he's going to solo in a power airplane. And then we'll, of
cool.
course, go from there and pursue additional certificates and ratings and get him started in a career in aviation. And I guarantee you, the modeling will always be part of that.
Absolutely.
To see a young person be able to take all of those steps and, in your words, connect those dots from the very beginning when I very first get that fascination with aviation and take that all the way up to a full-scale pilot's license at that early age. It's fantastic.
EAA has a very successful program called the Young Eagles program. And this year we will fly our 2 millionth kid between 8 and 18 years of age, probably at AirVenture this summer is the goal.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Modeling is such a key part of that because it connects it threads that whole experience together. The kid gets excited, he gets that wonderful experience of his first flight in a small general aviation airplane, and what next? Well, if you're under the age of 14, modeling's next.
Yeah.
For that matter, if you're over the age of 14, modeling can be next too. But the bottom line is it connects those dots in a more meaningful way.
Well, and I think that was, fundamentally the part of this week. A couple days ago or yesterday, we signed the new MOU between EAA and AMA, and fundamentally at the core of that is the youth side. We have an industry where it's just extremely important to get kids interested in aviation. And it isn't just about flying, and it isn't, just about being an air traffic controller or whatever it might be. There's a broad spectrum of careers available out there, but we've got to get kids involved and interested in aviation to begin with. And I think we have a unique opportunity as two organizations between EAA and AMA to do a good job of that. Through the programs that we have, like Sean said, with our Young Eagles program, how do we do a better job of taking that 8 or 9 or 10-year-old that we might have sparked some interest at a Young Eagles rally? They got that first flight, but we need to give them something that they can then go walk away with, that their parents will support and be part of. And we think modeling can be and should be a really good part of that. So the more that we can do working between AMA clubs and chapters on a local level, so when there is a rally going on, that there's an AMA presence there, things we can do with programming. As kids come out of that Young Eagles program, how do we have modeling in front of them so that, it is something that they can reach out and do, and it's tangible, and it's something that they can participate in now.
And stay connected with that excitement
Absolutely.
that they've got at that moment.
Absolutely.
Well, I tell you, I love that, and I think I can speak for all of us at AMA when I say that makes me very proud to be associated with you folks, and makes me very excited about what the future and that partnership can hold, not only for both the organizations, but for all the young people out there and adults too, that find that interest in aviation and want to take that next step and stay involved.
Absolutely.
And we feel the same way, Chris. It is exciting, and it feels like it's a new, uncharted opportunity. And Rick and I both can attest that when we travel the country and go to different EA chapters, there's models hanging in their hangars. There's
Always.
RC guys all throughout, model guys, I should say, all throughout the EA community, and vice versa. You go to AMA clubs, you find EA guys.
Yeah.
We're officializing what's been happening naturally for decades.
Well, and I think even as we talk about youth, the same issue exists out there, on the adult side. Not everybody is in a position at whatever age they might be at to say, boy, I want to go jump into full-scale aviation. And we know that people go back and forth between modeling and full-scale. So how do we do a better job of facilitating that? Because in the end, we want people engaged in aviation. Mm-hmm. It's good for the industry, and it's good for all the organizations that support. So modeling is one of those that allow people to go back and forth. It particularly has a place for youth as we think about bringing youth forward in aviation. But it works across the board. I mean, we joke about, you can go to an AMA club meeting, you go to an EA chapter meeting, and if you listen to the conversation that's going on, other than it might be about a different scale, you would have a hard time understanding the difference or seeing the difference.
Sure. Well, speaking of the conversations going on, as people can see, we're here in the middle of AMA Expo. Talk to us a little bit about what your impressions have been about the show.
I think overall, yesterday was a tremendous day. Traffic was great on Saturday, and again, as Sean said, you've got people walking around here that are on both sides of aviation, and we've got that ability to interact with them. But it's a great show. It seems like there's good life here, and that's important. Is keeping model aviation healthy and moving forward, and certainly the show is certainly a bit of a proxy for that.
And this year, for the first time, we've had our EAA booth right next to the AMA centerpiece, which just showed, again, great synergy. And had a lot of people come up to us at the booth and say, it's awesome to see you guys here and doing things together.
Yeah.
We are so with you on that.
Yep.
It's been good for us. I've looked over several times now and seen quite the line over at the EAA booth. So you guys are absolutely doing something right over there.
No, it's good. It's been real good.
Guys, speaking of that, I can see you've got work to do. Thanks so much for sitting down with us this morning and spending a few minutes to talk about EAA and the relationship that we're putting together. And I'm really looking forward to us working together in the future.
Absolutely.
Likewise,
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.